everyone, Tina here. I hope you're having a lovely day. Thanks so much for joining me. Well, as promised, I have another club kit to share with you, but this time we're doing this one in 5 easy steps. This is the Spellbinders Clear Stamp Die of the Month club kit. It's a monthly subscription. This month it has images of lemons, tomatoes, flowers, strawberries, and then there's a whole bunch of greetings that go with a little tote that you can carry all of the garden items in it. The first thing I looked for were dies that would cut out the lemons and the flowers to tuck into the mesh bag here. But it's meant to go stamped and then put the mesh bag on top as if it's being filled. So this was a little bit different for me, but I'm excited to try it, and I'm excited to because usually I like to die cut out and pop up, of course. So we're gonna try it out, and I think you're gonna love the outcome. Okay, so we're going to be using this. I'm also bringing in a couple extra die sets. This is the Postage Edge rectangles. I don't think Spellbinders has this anymore. If they do, they have a substitute, I think. And I'll link a substitute down below. And then I'm also going to bring in the classic mouse borders. This one can be the Postage Edge rectangles has the postage edge, and then it also has a straight edge that you can layer on top. So if you have a scallop border die, you could switch it out for a scallop border die. I think that would look just as pretty. Let's jump in with step 1 and create. I want a bag full of lemons today. Lemons are nice and cheery, and I love the smell of them. Lemons in the stamp set will be my focal point, and then we're also going to be die cutting out the mesh bag with Spellbinders Alabaster cardstock. I'm actually going to cut this out 3 or 4 times. Since we don't have dimension with the fruit, I'm going to add my dimension with the bag, and we're going to layer them together. Okay, there we go. 3 is like the perfect thickness. I don't need the 4th one, so die cut out 3. Okay, and then this with water. And I'll come back to this in a minute because we have some lemons to stamp. Now, to stamp my lemons, I need to do a little die cutting. So that's where my postage edge comes in. My home panel is going to be die cut out with this one, but I need the inside piece. Okay, and I'm going to do direct stamping on here. So let's take some white cardstock, and I'll die cut this out. We're going to add this to the middle because I'm going to be overlapping, I'm sure. Tack this down. I'm going to kind of place where I want my bag. I'm thinking I want my bag here. So I'm going to use a pencil, and I'm going to lightly trace around it. There we go. And I'm going to zoom in so you can see a little bit better here. And then we'll take our stamp image, and I will place them in here. You see how it overlaps a little bit? Okay, let's bring in our ink. I'm using my Simon inks. I have butter and honey. Butter's really light, and I'm going to go ahead and take this and ink this up first. I'm going to stamp it a few times. We're going to add a little bit of depth with our honey, but I'm not going to stamp directly on here. I'm going to bring in my finger dauber. So I'll pick up a little bit of ink, and I'm going to go around the edges here. Let's stamp this. Before I stamp the second step, I need to stamp the leaves. That way I know it's not going to overlap. The nice thing is that these leaves are one piece. That makes it really nice. I'm not sure which way these go. You know, this is a little bit tricky. I'm not sure which way these go. Let's see. We'll put our... Okay, this way. Okay, so it goes this way. So what I'm going to do is lift up my stamp set And then I'm going to reposition this here. Okay. And then I can figure out the placement here. That was a lot easier. Okay, let's go ahead and ink these up. I'm using my Simon Says Stamp Cabbage. Now I'm bringing in a brown ink. This is Cappuccino. I'm going to add a little bit of brown to where the lemon stems are. There we go. So I'll take this off, and then now we can add, now we know, and then now we're going to do another set here. I'm going to do a little bit of masking. So what I'm going to do is take some Post-it note paper. This is 3M. I'm going to take my little tote, and then I'm just going to quickly go around it. Okay, and then I'll take the negative piece and I'm going to line it up here. And then I'll add a little bit up here. Okay, now what I can do is I can move over my lemons on this side. Now I want more greenery in here. So we're going to take our leafy image. Okay, I'm going to mask this bottom off. And I'm going to add some extra leaves here. Again, I'm doing this randomly because I want more greenery in there. And since we have a mesh bag covering it, I think I can get away with it. There we go. So now, from a distance, it doesn't look very bad, right? But you can see the random. This one's floating. This one's going nowhere. These two are going nowhere. But I just wanted that extra green. Watch when you put the mesh over the top. You can't even tell, but you have that extra greenery in there. Love it. Okay, I'm going to take this actually, and I'm going to layer this right over that pencil mark. I'm not even going to erase it. I'm just going to layer this right over here, and then this will be my focal point. So now we have a little dimension for our focal image. I just love this. Now let's move along to step number 2 and create our home panel. I'm bringing back my postage edge, and then the outline piece we are going to die cut out with some yellow cardstock. This is Spellbinders Color Essentials. This was chamomile. I've mentioned this lots of times, but they don't have chamomile. But any color of cardstock that is a lighter yellow would work perfect. I'll be right back. I'm going to flip this over just using my tape runner. We're going to adhere this to our postage edge. And again, if you have a scallop border, you could use that. And then I would trim down a panel to fit on the inside. But there we go. That's my home panel. Now we're going to move along to step number 3 and create our greeting. Bringing back our stamp set, I'm going to stamp a tote full of thanks. This is one of those cards that any greeting would work. I'm using my Memento ink only because it's lighter. Since we have light colors, I don't want the bold of my VersaFine. So just stamping with my Memento works just fine. Bring in the die set and we will cut out our tote full of thanks, and I will be right back. There we go. I did put foam tape on the reverse side over on the thanks. I'm going to add a little glue here, and then we're going to overlap this down here on the bottom, and that's our greeting. Now let's move along to step number 4 and create our background. I mentioned that border die set, so what we're going to do is take this piece. This is the classic mouse borders. I'm going to die cut out a border with the same alabaster cardstock that we used for our tote. And then I'm also going to trim down a 1/2 inch strip. of white cardstock. That will fit right behind here. Okay, we're just going to add some glue. I thought it would fit right behind, but it does leave a little bit of a border, and I don't mind that. So we'll take this. I put glue on the left and right, and I'm going to layer this right over the top. Now I said it covered this, but the strip is a little bit thinner than 1/2 inch strip. So I have some white on the left and the right, and I like it. So I'm going to keep it that way. So there's our border. And then I'm going to take an A2 panel of Spellbinders. This is Waterfall. And we're going to do a little stamping. Bring in an acrylic block. There's some daisies in here. I'm going to take the daisies, just the daisies. Using my watermark ink, we're going to ink up some daisies, and I'm going to add some daisies in our background. Basically, I'm going to go over the outline of this panel. It's going to be very subtle. We'll flip it around here. Very subtle, but I like the dainty feel of it. I didn't worry about the middle, so basically the perimeter, because we're going to add our home panel. Now I'm going to take the strip. We're going to use the grid lines on our grip mat, and then I'm going to go 1 1/4 inch. 1 1/4 inch from the left side here. We will tack this down. That will be my background. I'm going to take this and layer it on top of my card base. Okay, and then I'm going to flip this over. I'm going to put some foam tape behind here, and then this is going to go right on the top. Now for finishing touches, I'm going to bring in some of my Spectrum AB gems. We're going to add a few to here, but I'm also going to bring in some twine. I have some natural twine. I think this is from Hemp. I'll link it down below. I always like this for my spring cards. It's really nice twine, and it reminded me of the mesh bag. So I'm going to double up on here and tie a bow with it. Okay, let's go ahead and add this up here. I'm adding the bow. You see the strip and then the corner of the basket. I think that's a good spot right here. And then we'll bring in some of our gems. Wonderful. And that finishes my card today. Fun way to add dimension when there's no dimension to the stamped images. But I love a little tote full of lemons. I hope this gives you a little bit of inspiration. And thanks so much for joining me. Have a wonderful day. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye. Thanks so much for sticking with me to the end. I have 2 more videos that you guys might be interested here. If you guys are new and like the content that you see, click that subscribe button and also the notification bell. That way for future videos, be notified. Also, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It sure does help the channel. Have a wonderful day. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.